Hi, I'm Sarah, and I'm here to teach you everything that you need to know about making your own bread. The first thing that you'll need when you're making bread from home, from a starter, is a starter. So I'm going to teach you some very simple steps as to how you can make your own starter at home. So I myself have a starter that I've been cultivating for about 4 months, and now it's at the point where I can start to see those sour notes appear in my bread. There are other ways to promote the sourness of your dough, and that just happens when you mix in different types of starches. So today we're going to be making a buckwheat starter. So I have my buckwheat flour here, and the reason why I wanted to use buckwheat is because I know that the starch in it is going to produce a very nice flavor right off the bat. So the first thing that we're going to do today is take a container. I would prefer that you use a glass container that you've washed and thoroughly cleaned and dried, so in that way there's no chance of any cross-contamination or anything that could prohibit your starter from going. You want to give it the best chance for success. And you also want to make sure that it can be sealed. So I'm just going to use a Tupperware container here that's glass, and it's going to be sealed with a lid. Being able to have it in a container that can seal is going to be able to allow for your starter to be stored long term. I'm going to add in 1 cup of buckwheat and 1 cup of water. So I'm going to go ahead and mix all this together, but this is in essence the starter that you're going to have. So I'll just show you the process of what we're going to be doing. It takes 5 days, as I mentioned, and it has to do with adding and removing your starter ingredients. So when you add ingredients to your starter, as in flour and water, you're going to essentially be feeding it. So this is our day 1. We mixed 1 cup of flour and 1 cup of water, or equal parts flour and water, depending on the size of your container. And we're gonna let this sit for 12 hours. So we'll come back in the afternoon or overnight. So I'm mixing this right now in the morning, and I'll come on in the evening and we'll go over how you discard and feed your starter. This is what your mixture will look like once everything is combined. You can see some of those air bubbles, those CO2 bubbles starting to form. So we're gonna let this sit for 12 hours, and I'll come back and I'll show you how to prepare your starter for day 2. So I've gone ahead and I've discarded half of the original mixture, and I'm now going to add in 1/2 cup of water and 1/2 cup of buckwheat and mix everything together. So I've added my water and I'm gonna add my buckwheat. So you can also use any type of flour for this. I chose to use buckwheat because I want this to be a gluten-free starter. So it all depends on your personal preference and what you would like to use your starter for. So I'm just going to continue to mix everything together here, trying to make sure that I have lots of airflow and being sure to break up any of those clumps that have formed. So this is the number of air bubbles after only 12 hours in between when it was initially made and now, and you can see there's definitely a larger formation of those CO2 bubbles within the mixture itself. So that's a great sign, and I'm going to continue to repeat this step through days 3, 4, and 5, and then I can start baking with it.